What up, It's the Chief Kaseek Ortiz.
Tyrant333. And this is Figure It the Fuck Out.
Yes, sir.
We got another lovely conversation for you coming in. We're going to be talking about the relationship, because relationships are key. Relationships are everything between, the artist and the producer, and how to foster that, how to make that better, and maybe some of the different things we've seen, working in this music industry between the artist and the producer. And every hit, every rap hit especially, it's usually a beat that's very memorable, and there's usually some hard-hitting lyrics on there that make you want to go back to the record. So that starts with them really building that relationship and doing stuff that fosters a hit record, and a record that makes people want to just instantly start nodding their head.
Yeah, it does. Because every classic record that you hear, whether it be like Biggie, Tupac, or whatever it is that people are really into now, like a lot of it's kind of tied in, As soon as you start hearing a Dr. Dre record, you already know it's like the ding, ding, ding. Like you already want to start. As soon as it pops on, you already want to bounce to it.
Producers with these signature styles, like Dr. Dre, like a Metro Boomin, like when 21 was going away from, or Future even working with Metro.
Yeah.
People are like, yo, we want that sound. Go back to that producer for that sound.
Yeah.
Because
they did. Yeah.
They liked how they got that feeling from back when that artist was on the grind, on the come up, bumping out those hit records.
Right.
So definitely producers come with their signature style, and that could definitely help make a record even better. But on the other side of things, the artist really has to come with it with the lyrics. And it's not even just the lyrics at this point. People like artists because of their voice. They like their artists because it's just maybe some of the things they're saying on the record is memorable or relevant to the time.
Right. Relatable, pretty much.
Exactly. Maybe it was something they went through, like you said, on that relatable tip.
Right.
But also, maybe the hook was something that kept bringing them back to the song, because the hook is extremely important on any record. I feel like some people downplay that, but the hook tells a lot about the song.
Yeah, the hook is kind of like the heartbeat. If you were to look at like a song as like a body part, it's like the heartbeat. And everything else is like, here's the limbs, you know what I'm saying? Here's the body structure, here's this, but this is the heartbeat that keeps it pumping.
It keeps people remembering the song, coming back to it, creating dances to it, all that type of stuff. A lot of the TikToks and stuff you see made off the hook, unless it's a memorable bar that applies specifically to their life. But that's why those two different things, hard-hitting beats, the lyrics, something memorable, is what brings together a nice record. And I know from what you've seen, you got artists, or you got producers, as a matter of fact, out there. Sometimes they send beat to artists if they really fuck with your craft as an independent and see what you're doing.
Yeah, it's kind of like a 50-50. There's definitely a whole lot of people that are solid that will do that. But at the same time, there's a lot of bullshit. It goes both ways. You got bullshit artists hitting up producers on some gimme, and it's like, you're not even ready for this, what I'm about to give you. And then there's producers that are overzealous, and they're like, yo, here's here, take. And it's like, yo, you're not even ready yet.
Yeah, and I feel like some of them may do that because, it's like anything. When you're trying to get your foot in the game, foot in the door, you want to put your product in front of somebody who's going to make it move.
And you should. And I think for early stages of, producers or rappers, or just artists in general, because it's not strictly tied into just being a rapper. But it's hard not to be super or hypersensitive about your craft, even if you're just starting out, because you might love it. I'll touch on the basis of simple fact that sometimes I have producers that'll send me beats, and I just personally don't like them. Sometimes I'm wondering if they even listen to my music before they send the beats, because it's like, this is not even remotely close to what it is I'm already putting out. So when I hear those things, I'll look at it subjectively because of the way that I think. I'll look at it as like, maybe they thought I could get out of my comfort zone and try these beats out. Yeah. But the quality level out here is like, damn, you really didn't even do your homework. And when you didn't do your homework, it's kind of like, I kind of almost feel insulted, but I try to not be emotional about it because, like you said, some of them are new. I don't know. It's not like I have their life story written to me at the same time they're sending me the beats. They're just trying to feed me beats. So, I definitely think quality is like a huge, huge facet for both. And I think that's what we should kind of really talk about is the fact that artists really do need producers and the producers really do need the artists. And I've heard a few things.
Two-way street.
Right. I'm a huge fan of the Music Entrepreneur Club, which is another podcast, and their producer podcast where Dame Ritter is, an exec on there. But, I hear them talk about how, this rapper is trying to steal this, or these producers are trying to screw over artists. And there's always this constant little, I guess, crabs in a bucket mentality where everybody's trying to get at each other in a certain way or trying to fuck each other over when we really actually need each other.
The producer and artist, to me, when I look at it, it's like a marriage.
Yeah.
Almost like you need both for it to be successful.
You really do.
And sometimes you see producers out there looking around like, oh, my beats are so fire, like I don't even need an artist. But at the end of the day, you're going to need lyrics to make that ride the same way you would have.
Right.
Unless you want to make it background music, which you can go ahead and do
There's
that.
definitely a whole bag in that, but you have to kind of be intentional about it and make music specifically towards that. I mean, one of my favorite producers is A-Rap Music, and for the most part, he does like a lot of the MPC work and live shows, and people literally pay tickets to watch him play the beats live. Yeah. But there is something special when he decides to link up with an artist and was like, yo, let's do a project, or let's make a few records and put these out, and now you're just like, damn, this shit is crazy.
It brings life to the music and the production that they put together.
Yeah. I'm a huge fan of that collaboration. Like, not even just hip hop. When I think about, how talented Prince was and all the things that he was able to do, or how talented the collaboration between Michael Jackson and a Quincy Jones was coming together and creating the sound, or one of my favorite producers is The Alchemist. And every time you see The Alchemist and somebody else, I'm already like, I'm already hyped I already love it before I even hear it. Like you just can't beat that type of feeling.
As soon as you said that, I started thinking to hold you down.
Yeah, right. Like that shit
That's that record.
Yeah, that shit had me going through it. You know what I'm saying? Like we was like, when I think about Alchemist doing that, or Metro Boomin, like you was saying, teaming up with, such and such, and DJ Mustard doing his thing. My other favorite, like my new top favorite right now is like Hit Boy, because Hit Boy surprises me every time. Because usually producers, like we were saying, have a signature sound. Like when a Dr. Dre beat comes on, you kind of already know it's Dr. Dre. If an Alchemist beat comes on, you know it's Alchemist. I have to give it to Hit Boy. Sometimes when a beat comes on, I'm like, Hit Boy made that?
Yeah.
I thought he could only do this. And then he does this. And I'm like, shit, he can do this too? And oh shit, he could do this? Like him and Nas, Nas is always one of my favorite rappers, but him always putting out projects, I'm always a huge fan of it. But when he linked up with Hit Boy, it was kind of like a resurgence. Like I felt like this is the first time I'm hearing Nas again.
Yeah.
And it's like that combination is just...
He can feed those older artists that had that, the classic music, and these new artists too.
Yeah.
Like he makes sounds for all of them, which is great. And another person who transitioned nice, a lot of people might not be aware of this, is that artist from, back in the day, Young Berg.
Oh, word.
He's Hitmaker
True.
now.
Yeah, true.
So a lot of people don't even know that, but he's got his name over a lot of hits pumped out.
A lot of hits that I don't even know, like I can't name them. When I find them, like, damn, he did that shit. But he plays so background, keeps it so cool and nonchalant. So doesn't Hit Boy, you know what I'm saying? Hit Boy is not super flashy with it. He just does these projects. He really is so focused on figuring it the fuck out and making moves. Like, just put up the shots. But every time I hear this shit, I'm like, damn, this shit is top tier. And then the artist he chooses to get on it, it just, like you said, it's like a marriage. Like, honestly, a lot of the stuff that we do naturally, having a manager is kind of like a marriage. You have to stay in constant communication. You have to understand and be able to manage expectations from each other constantly, so you're always on the same page, because it's very easy in this industry to get on the wrong page. Or something happens in the industry.
Communication.
Yeah.
And also not giving enough constructive criticism. Like he was saying in the other episode, no yes men around me.
Yeah.
Like you got to be able to tell that person, yo, this might not be something I like, but this is, if you add this, this, and this, it might be able to do it better. Or if you float more towards this sound, it'll appeal more towards me.
Right.
But if you just take the beat and like, oh, this is all, you always just tell them, this is fire, bruh.
Yeah.
And then you just put it in the vault and never do anything with it.
Yeah.
He's not getting any better, you know? Like he's not gonna know what sound he needs to start hitting to appease you or appease whatever other artists he's trying to get in front of, you know?
Right.
So it's
that's why I say we have to kind of, both sides, we have to kind of get like just get into the situations with less emotions. And it's hard to say that because me personally, my music is like everything to me. It's literally like my heart, blood, soul, like everything is all inside of my music. So like if you tell me you don't like it, I might feel some type of way. Or I used to feel some type of way. Now I don't give a fuck because I'm honestly really just making music for myself. So if you happen to like it, it's a bonus to me.
Music is something you gotta have tough skin.
Yeah, right.
Tough skin to really operate in this space.
Right. But had it been, Kaseek Ortiz in the earlier stages, that could have ruined my day. Like, damn, nobody likes it. And once you remove the emotion out of it, because it's hard, like I said, music for me is very emotional. I have songs with my son. Like, I'm really putting things out there, whether it be my insecurities or my love or happiness or shit I'm going through. Or shit, even like Dollars and Checks, the verse, as hype as that record is, the verse is literally talking about how like I'm about to go broke and how I'm about to do some shit to get money. But like that's a real feeling.
And to touch on that, these beats are frequencies.
Yeah.
So they can, a very talented producer will know how to tune that to the right frequency to make you feel upbeat, make you feel sad, make you feel like you want to go hit a lick, make you feel like you want to go get some money.
It's a great,
and
it's a great
combined
segue
with the lyrics.
Because I personally believe that music really does change everything. And it's kind of funny because like, they're trying to use rap music in their lyrics in court cases and saying this. And then they're trying to be like, well, this is just art. And it's like, yes, but like, and I totally agree with that. But at the same time, music it changes the mood. And you know this for a fact because let's just take hip hop and all that shit out of it, a lyricist out of it. If you're watching a scary movie and you hear some spooky sounds or the music is playing, they play it spooky. So you're supposed to get scared. You're supposed to feel like, imagine watching some of those scenes with no music, that the movie would just be a dub. You'd be like, I'm all set. Like this shit ain't scary, nothing.
No music, no special effects.
Right. No special effects. Like that type of shit matters. So when you're talking about, like it being vibrational, it is. There's certain sounds, there's certain vowels that work on a record better. The reason why I think hip hop has done so well is because that frequency that we've always ranged with that bass hitting at that certain frequency that really resonates almost the same as the heart. So like when it bumps, it hits your heart. So it makes you want to dance. It makes you want to move. It hits you in a way different.
Hip hop's hitting all emotions at this point.
Yeah.
Any emotion you can think of. It can get you sad, it can get you happy.
Yeah.
Like when you think of country, it's more like it's on all usually like what? Like a happy type vibe when you think about it.
Almost, happy type vibe, but like the lyrics are sad.
Yeah.
Most of the time it's like,
you
I'm
think
drunk.
Rock, it's kind of aggressive, usually like,
super aggressive, but even if you listen to the lyrics, it's kind of sad. It's like, goddamn.
You can blend all that together in a gumbo pot with hip hop.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it's all the elements, That's why I'm talking about we kind of need each other. We need the people that play the guitars so we can get those certain sounds. We need the people that know how to play the piano to get those sounds.
Speaking of that piano, Ben Grizz, he done killed pianos on a lot of his beats.
Yeah.
A lot of his beats, whether they were good quality, bad quality, he's learned how to make a hit record when that piano's siphoning in on the beats. That's something when he hears it, he's like, okay, I like this record. I'm trying to move him away from the piano more, but he ends up somehow getting a piano beat every time.
Yeah. But that's the thing though, is like a piano and like a guitar is probably always going to be a driving force within that music realm. Sometimes synthesizers too, but synthesizers are kind of like an acquired taste. But with pianos and guitars, you can never really go wrong.
Yeah.
But we do need each other. So it's like, if, I guess to come full circle, I guess, on how artists need producers and producers need artists in their early in their career or even later in their career. Because like I just mentioned, Nas linking up with Hit Boy, it was like it was breathing completely new life that I thought maybe like, damn, he might just retire and not ever really resurge. But once he met Hit Boy, it was like, damn, these projects are just top notch. Like these are next level.
And that's the thing though. once you get into that realm of high quality, it's hard to ever go back.
Yeah, definitely. You can't really go back unless, I guess the people that are consuming it, just they don't like none of the shit that you're doing. They just want that old shit. And then you might revert back. But most of the time you really can't go back. And
look at Gucci, or what some call him Clone Gucci. Like his beats are out the roof now. He didn't need those before back then. His beats were a little weird back in 06 Gucci and shit.
Yeah, very basic.
Yeah, but now like it's like for him to go back to that, I would actually like to see it because people want to see that vintage Gucci, like you said.
I want to say it is. I guess it depends.
But his beats are so out this world right now.
I feel
knocking.
like right. Damn, I'm gonna have to end up listening to Gucci so I don't sound like an idiot because I haven't listened to some of the Gucci's new shit in a minute. But I can say that when Young Jeezy dropped a project and the beats wasn't really hitting that way, the project I don't want to say it failed because it was still a success, but like it just wasn't hitting like his older projects. But the last joint that Young Jeezy did, where it sounded like he went back to the trap house and had the old producers back on, it shit sounded crazy. World, bro. It was like, oh man, I'm back in fucking 2000, whatever.
Thug Motivation?
Yeah, like I'm back to, yeah.
Those beats were knocking. I am the trap.
Right.
Hey.
Facts, like.
And Jeezy, I don't know who produced those, actually. I never really, I guess, asked that question, but the production on those was just through this roof.
Right.
Like, you just hear the wall shaking, the car shaking, like,
it kind of
the beat comes on.
It's like the same thing with DMX. DMX has had records where he's done with other people, and those records didn't really do well. But if you team him up with Swiss Beats, that shit it was out of here.
Out of here.
It's a done deal. Like these two had to do records together. Not saying they necessarily had to, because Swiss has done records with other people and they still went. But nothing goes when you have a Swiss Beats and DMX on the record.
And that's on the high level there, these high-level people, big in the game, big artists, big producer. It's like the quality's so good, it's like hard to replicate what they just made.
Yeah.
It's so legendary.
Yeah. You just can't.
But then on the other side of things, we got independence, right? Dealing with other independent producers, whatever. So you have to kind of figure out how to get to that point of Metro Boomin, Future, by fostering that relationship and building up a sound together.
Yeah.
At the beginning, when you're in the lab with each other, at those beginning stages, both trying to burst your career and bust it wide open.
Yeah.
You guys are, like you said, going back and forth, critiquing each other, a lot of open communication, trying to figure out what's that sound that's going to hit and make everyone get going.
Yeah, that relationship.
There's other producers also out there replicating sound, replicating the drill sound.
Yeah.
Replicating whatever sound that they think is popping at the time and riding that wave and that trend.
Yeah, that shit kind of falls off in its own, because like when they're copying the trends, they're not necessarily like finding their sound. Well, in a sense, they're finding their sound, but like let's just say if, for example, they're following a trend, they're making some type of trap beat or they're making some type of drill beat, but they're not really a drill producer, but then a drill rapper finds them and now they want to lock in super heavy with them. But then it's like, they can't really lock in with you because you're like a chameleon and you have no idea what you want to do. And like, you might make a few drill beats for him, but you don't love it. So you just stop making drill beats. And now you and that artist kind of fall out because he's trying to make this or she's trying to make that.
That comes back to the honesty and just openness. Like, I'll make a couple for these for you, but this is not the lane I'm really trying to go down.
Right. And that's what I'm saying, like fostering these relationships, or what you were saying too, fostering these relationships are very important, whether you're early in your career or not. Like I said, with the Hit Boy and Nas getting together. Because Hit Boy is a young cat, you know what I'm saying? He's younger. So it's like, and Nas is like pushing 50, or he already is 50, you know what I'm saying? So it's a lot different. But I think it's very important for, if you're trying to, I guess, reach the masses in a certain way, it really makes sense to find somebody that you believe in and that you want to build with and actually just zone in. That doesn't mean you can't make beats or songs with other producers or other rappers, but to really lock in. Like one of my favorites is like when La Russell drops his music, he teams up with his boy Taupe. And like when they drop projects, it's huge. And then he ends up linking up with Hit Boy and it's just like, damn, the sound just sounds crazy. Or if, Larry June, one of my favorite artists, like he drops a whole project with The Alchemist, and that shit is bananas, but his main producer is Cardo. And it's like when you know that Larry June and Cardo are dropping the project together, the shit is just, it's top tier. You can't match this energy if you can really lock it in. And that only comes with skin in the game if you build that relationship. Because it wasn't like they just met each other and was like, bam, now we're just creating top tier music. Very rare is it like that. It's usually fostered. You have to plant the seed. You have to water it. That's a marriage. You have to compromise. Let's build together. Let's do something and then grow together. And then here you guys are just fucking putting out amazing
Drake
music.
Also with his producer.
Yeah.
40.
Yeah.
You know, that took a lot of time.
I might be tripping. It might make me look crazy, but I don't know if 40 makes beats though.
His producer was 40?
Yeah, but I don't know if he makes beats.
Anymore?
I don't know if he ever did. I thought he was more of an engineer.
Okay. So,
but I mean, some engineers are pretty much producers too, where they know how to develop that sound. So like I consider myself a producer because I'm not just recording vocals. I'm actually helping you foster the entire song in real form.
So 40 was the engineer. Okay.
I think. I'm not sure. Like I said, you know what I'm saying? I wish I knew.
That's interesting. Yeah, I'm not really 100% on that either. I always thought, I always knew he was really locked in with the dude, and I thought this was the dude that was like banging out his beats, but
it could be. I could be wrong, but I do know that it's mainly the guy he records with. I don't know if it's the same guy that makes his beats. It could be, because usually, well, not usually, but most times the engineer ends up becoming also the producer. I just so happen to be a guy that just engineers. I'm not really the full beat maker.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's another good thing. I mean, we see a lot of, going back on the independent thing, we see a lot of, there's on both sides, producers and artists just, I guess, keeping a lock on their vault of records. You know, just holding on to them because they have a certain price they want to get in their head, or a certain amount of money they want to make, or it's not ready yet. Yeah. You know, stuff like that. So it's like, I also feel personally like, well, you're already off that wave as an artist.
Yeah. But it took me a minute.
Mode. It takes a while because, like you said, these things are so dear to your heart, these creations you made. So it's hard to release them sometime and get in that mode of like, all right, just throw it out there.
Yeah, it is. And it doesn't really do you no good, because this goes back also to the conversation of quality versus quantity. And it's like, you kind of have to have both. Yes, you need to have the quantity, but you have to also have the quality. But the more quantity you are putting out, the faster you will get to the quality.
Yes.
So it's like the same shit. It's like you can't, you know, I'll go back to Bomb First. Bomb First is a fire song that was actually near and dear to my heart. You know what I'm saying? Even though I'm speaking raw and I'm like, you know, because I'm writing this shit out of, I'm angry. I'm angry that America seems to still be racist and still wants to treat people a certain way. And people are getting murdered on a daily. And this should just get swept under the rug like nothing. And, you know, they post all this reform and let's, you know, get the George Floyd Act going, and then it doesn't pass. Like, I hate that shit.
Yeah.
But had I released it when it should have been released, it probably would have hit more. It would have resonated with people more. Not saying it can't resonate now, but when everybody was emotional and in their feelings and ready to riot and want to smash windows and piss the fuck off, that's when I should have released it, because, like I said, it resonates with everybody because you're in that motion as well with me. We're not in this. I didn't feel this alone. We all felt this collectively. So it's harder. Granted, that was like a public issue record, but like there's plenty of records that I got out there where it's like, I could just release this because you never know who's listening. You never know who's watching that might need to hear what you have. What you're saying is changing their life. Today might be the last day they even want to breathe, but you said something in a podcast or in a song that made them feel hope, or they're like, you know what, I'm going to give this shit another shot.
And producers, you're sitting on your beats there. Like he said, there was a window where he should have dropped it, but he didn't realize that till after. It could have happened the same way for y'all. Producers, you have like 300 beats you're sitting on there. You could have gave that record to someone in your city that's probably buzzing and about to start buzzing and really about to start taking their craft seriously.
Yeah.
You could have put your beat on in the background music for a movie, a video game, something like that. Monetized it by putting some random AI footage on a YouTube video and throwing it out there.
Because by the time it drops, it might not even be as relevant of a beat. Because music always constantly changes. Like you just said, Gucci sounds different now. Young Jeezy sounds different now. All these other artists like Nas, he sounds different now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that music that came out then, he can't necessarily like Gucci probably wouldn't be able to drop some of those old records now because they might not do good quality wise. So like he had to drop them shits at that moment because that was the moment. That's what everybody was feeling in the moment. So these producers or rappers or just artists in general keeping shit on their hard drive, it's not, for one, it's not making you money there. Second off, it's not even literally being heard there. Like it's not.
You're not getting any constructive criticism because half of y'all don't even play the records for people.
Right.
Play the beats for people.
And then you keep creating new shit thinking, yeah, this is it. And it's like, you really don't know because you never even got critiqued on
you never sent it to no artists because you were holding on to these art. This got to go for 300 a beat.
Yeah.
But like you didn't send it to no one to see if they even can do anything with the beat. You never got it mixed and mastered by anybody to see if it was of good quality by the engineer and engineer standards, if he can do anything with the beat.
Right.
You just sat on them and then a couple people bought them here and there. You made it put a couple rappers on it that didn't last. Maybe made out a song or two and then stopped rapping. Like you need to get and do your analytical homework on what rappers are really trying to make movement, what rappers are going to be in this game for a while.
Right.
You know, what rappers are working on getting their streams up or have some type of streams or fan base. Like those are the type of people you want to get your beats in their hands.
I guess that goes into like another conversation where for both rappers and producers is that everybody's just a little bit too focused on the money. And like, I'm sure I could get that slack for it because like everybody's like, you know, time is money, blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, a lot of these things that you're thinking is kind of like a poor mindset because owning 100% of nothing is still nothing. If you're not putting this shit out, you're not actually growing. So it's like, do you care about the money more than your growth? Because if you do for both sides, you're not going anywhere. And if you are going somewhere, you're going very slow. You're taking the fucking back road slow lane. You're thinking it's fucking 1992 and you just smoked some weed in the car and you're trying to make sure that you don't get caught by cops. So now you're driving mad slow, trying to be like you're taking the super slow lane. And I'm not saying people have to take the fast lane, but this goes towards like the whole failing forward, you know, mantras that once you fail forward faster, the faster you're going to grow. The more you're uncomfortable, that's where the growth actually lies. So that shit on your hard drive, it needs to be seen. It's better off to just make that producer and artist agreement. You know, you find an artist that you like or vice versa and say, yo, how can we work? I don't really have a lot of money, but this is what I can do. Okay, how about we do this? You give me that type of money and we'll do like a, you know, not a 50-50 project, but, you know, I'll give it to you for this and I'll take like 10%, 20%, and you take the lion's share or whatever, and then just push it.
Getting back end money if the record ever does blow up. Just having the paperwork right.
Right, having the paperwork right, or even if you don't do the paperwork right, hopefully there's a good, at least
rapport with that person. Like
skin in the game with them.
Yeah, like, you know, this person is not going to slime you, do you dirty. This is a person you can call every day, have an easy conversation with, like, and really get some work done. Because that's the best way. By people hearing your records is the best way for you to blow.
Right.
It's simple.
And even if they did do you dirty, as shitty as it is, like, that's not even your karma that you have to worry about. Because, yeah, they might fuck you over or whatever the case may be for both an artist or a rapper or producer. My bad. But like if you're doing good business and you stand on good business, you're only promoting that. So if that person does you shady, that's on them. They have to go to sleep with that, and they might not get it right away, but they're gonna end up catching it. You know what I'm saying?
It always comes back, and people who do bad business, it doesn't. They might get away with it for a while, but always, like you said, it always bounces back.
No,
especially in this year the 8. I mean, but going back to the conversation, dust off those records.
Yeah.
Artists, dust off those records. Put your content out there. See what works, what doesn't work, and listen to the people when they tell you what doesn't work and does work, because they're going to tell you.
Yeah.
You know, through some type of criticism. And, you know, this is Figure It the Fuck Out. I think this is
right before you end it, I actually want to say something because you just said dusting off the records and getting critiqued. I want to like revisit the fact that you need to be not so emotional about this, because both producers and artists will actually send their records to, because there's other You know, Timbaland does like song reviews. Curtis King does song and beat reviews. All these things. Like you have to kind of take the emotions out of it, because a lot of artists, what they'll do, both producers and artists, what they'll do is they'll pay for a platform to listen and critique their song, and then feel some type of way because they actually critique the song. Like you're literally paying them to say, yeah, this shit's not good, or it's great. So like you gotta be like not so emotional about it.
Yeah. And people also know that, like, I mean, an opinion is an opinion. So there's some people who get stuck in that. I feel like,
right.
Like they go to these people and like, fuck him.
Right.
He don't know everything. Like, he told me it ain't shit. Fuck him.
Right.
But if it comes 100 times, 1,000 times, then you might want to take that.
Right. But it also hits a little bit different if Dr. Dre is like, yeah, that's just trash. Or if a Timbaland is like, yeah, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Might want to take that.
It might make you want to quit. And it's like, which is good because you do need, tough skin in the game, but like don't keep sending your records if emotionally you're not prepared to hear the worst.
Yeah.
Because music is subjective. Just because some producers might send me beats, just because I don't do the record, that doesn't mean I hated the beats.
It didn't work for you.
It just didn't work for me. They might actually work for the next man.
Or the next artist in whatever position they're in. But that also comes down to the quality thing. Like, you might not accept it because it's not at the right quality tier, or because it's just not the sound you're going for.
Yeah. I'll even just say it out there. Like I had a producer actually sound like they made the beats for me, and I did like them, but nothing moved me. So it's like, I can't say to them, oh, these beats are trash or anything. It's just the beat actually, realistically, when I get these beats or I'm listening, the beat chooses me. I don't necessarily choose the beat. I'm listening to the beats, but then whatever one gets on and it catches me that right moment in time, I'm going in. Sometimes it might be a beat that I'm normally fucking with, or it might be something out of my comfort zone and I have no choice but like, yo, I need to get on this beat. And it just goes. It happens.
Walking on beats.
Yeah. I just started walking on the motherfucking beat. And that's what I mean is that like, just because I might not do the record, don't take offense to it. Or don't take offense to another artist not wanting to rock to your beats, or a producer doesn't, vice versa. We need each other, but it's better to foster these relationships and build that sound together.
And be very excited for the sound that's coming out of GGF this year.
Yes, sir.
2024. We got a lot coming up, a lot of fire music. We got bullets in the chamber, baby.
Yep.
And this is Figure It the Fuck Out. We'll be back with y'all soon.
Figure it the fuck out. Facts.